We are going to be going over how to use iMovie to edit YouTube videos. In a few minutes, I'm going to actually show you right over the shoulder how I use iMovie by showing you a step-by-step live tutorial of me actually editing one of my YouTube videos right in iMovie. I love iMovie. Now, it's not the best video editing software. There's Adobe Premiere and many others, but if you have a MacBook or a Mac, iMovie is built in for free. So if you're on a budget and you have that, I understand you're just starting off, iMovie is the perfect tool to use. I know many people think that their videos have to look like it's a professional film, and that's not the case. The most important thing is that your content that you're providing people with is of quality. Everyone wants real good information and quality content. If you're providing value in your content, that is key. Everything else can be very simple edits and you could get them done in iMovie. And I'm going to show you right over the shoulder how you can actually achieve this. I'll show you some of my iMovie tips and tricks and hacks that I use to get my videos to look pretty good, very clean, and it's very simple to use once you get the hang of it. Just like anything else, the more you use it, the better you get at it. And once you watch this video, you're really gonna get the good basics down and some tips and hacks that I know will go a long way for you to get your videos to look a little better. If you're new to my channel, I'm James Cook. I make business tutorials, give business advice from experience, especially when it comes to investing in digital assets and digital real estate, just like YouTube or a website, anything on those lines. That's the type of content that I make. If you like that type of content, definitely click the subscribe button now, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. I always try to add a lot of value. So now we're going to dive in where I share my screen and I show you how I use iMovie to edit YouTube videos. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you are going to use iMovie to edit your YouTube video is the video that you actually record and shoot, you want to make sure that it's on your desktop of your Mac. Now, the way you can do this is if you have an iPhone, you can AirDrop it. If you are using your phone, you can also use a USB cord and get it onto your desktop. Or if you're using a professional camera and there's an SD card, you could put the SD card into your computer and then get it into your desktop. Once you have it on your desktop, you see I have some videos right here. That's when you want to come down over here to Launchpad and we want to double click on iMovie. Here's my iMovie right here. I also already have another video in here because I did a screen recording just like I'm doing now. I do a lot of screen recording tutorials, so I have to actually upload not only the video that I shoot of myself, but I also have to upload the video screen recording that I had. So I had this screen recording already saved to my desktop. Open up iMovie. Up here, right here where it says projects, I clicked and I started a new project, and then I just drag my videos in from the desktop. So I drag the one video in that you see already in here. When you open it up at the first time, it's going to be blank. You just start a project, start a new video, movie, drag it in, and now I'm going to drag also this one in. And you see it drags in just like that. It's the full video. So now that my video is in there, what I like to do in the beginning of all my videos, because remember, we're going to end up making also a thumbnail for YouTube, and you could either send this to your graphic designer if you have one making your thumbnails, or if you're just getting started and you're on a budget, you want to make them yourself, I suggest checking out Canva, the free version. It's very simple to use. If you want to put a picture of yourself in there, it's always good in the beginning to remember just to do a couple poses with a smile, or maybe look to the side, just like that. So if I wanted to use this image for my thumbnail, what I would do is, let me just move this over on screen so you can see this. If I wanted to use this image right here, I would just click over it, right? So now the idea here is, you see how this line stays here when I click? Come up here to the download button. And when you click this share download, you're just going to hit image. And what that's going to do, and I'm just going to put this as thumbnail clip. What this is doing is actually saving that frame right there as an image to my desktop. Once it is saved, I'll get this notification right here that it's saved successful. Alright, close, and here it is. Here's the image. I'm going to open it up. Boom. That image was saved successful. Now what I can do is take that image and edit it into a thumbnail using Canva, or send it over to my graphic designer and say, hey, use this image from my video. Make it look like I'm looking at the text next to me. There we go. That's done. And then pretty much what I'll do is cut this out, because anything where I'm posing, I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to come over. I think I made a cut. Yeah, so I already made a cut here. And how I did that is the first thing I'm going to teach you is where you click with the mouse, right here, just like I want to make that line. Then you, with 2 fingers, right click, or if you're using a mouse, you just right click, and then you want to split clip. What does that do? It splits. Okay, so then I can click on it, and when you see it highlighted around in yellow, that means that that's selected, and then I'll delete that. Now I don't need any of these because these were just poses, so I selected it. You see it's highlighted all in yellow, and I'm just going to delete that. Now this is where I start to, I believe, talk right about, okay, right here. So once I see where I'm going to talk, what I like to do, same thing, is I'm going to select this area by first clicking and selecting it right here. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to split the clip. And it's because I don't need this beginning part where I'm sitting down, right? So that's selected, I could tell because it's yellow, and then I just click the delete button. Now I have it starting fresh right where I want it, right where I'm about to talk. We're going to be going over. Okay, perfect. Next thing I'm going to point out real quick is audio. So you see my audio here. You can always click on and highlight the whole video, and if you right click, you'll see detach audio. I'm just going to show you what this does. If I click detach audio, it actually pulls the audio out from the video and makes it its own file. And what's great about that is if you ever just want a video with no words, or if there's a section that you want to detach the audio and just delete it, you can detach it. So if you ever need to detach audio, you can do that. I'm actually going to go up here, edit, undo it, detach audio, and I want you to understand too, if you ever do something you didn't want to do, for example, let's say I did this and I went to, and this happens sometimes, I went to hit split clip, but I hit add freeze frame, which I don't use. What you want to do is go, oh man, I didn't mean to do that, what can I do? What you can do is come up to the top left. You might not be able to see it in this recording. You're going to see File, Edit, Mark, Modify, View, Window, Help. You're going to click Edit and just undo the last step. And that's it. So if you mess up top left, Edit, Undo. Alright, so you know how to split clip. You just, wherever you want to split it, you can just click, right click, split clip, and it splits it. Alright, so now that we have that figured out, I'm actually going to undo that because I didn't want to do that there. There we go. Piece it back together. Now, what I like to do too is I like it zoomed in all the way. I want to be able to see as much as I can. So right here, this little toggle, see how like small the video gets and all crunched up? I want to zoom in so I can see all the WAV files and I can go through this video and dissect it. So another thing, let's listen to this real quick. We're going to be going over. Alright, so if I thought this was a little loud or too low, when you hover down here, you see this bottom line? You see how it double arrows? That means that I'm able to adjust the volume. All I have to do is, when I see it double arrow, click and then drag the mouse down. So you're clicking and dragging the mouse down. It's a little tricky at first, so it starts off at 100. If I wanted to lower it, I left click, and then with my other finger, I drag the mouse down. This is how you adjust the volume. So if you want to adjust that volume, you got to make sure you see those double arrows on that line, and you could go down to 45%, you could drag it down, go to 40%. And now I'm using my MacBook Pro with the touchpad. You might be using a desktop with a mouse, so it's going to be a little different, but that's where the volume gets adjusted. Right here, when you see those double arrows, I'm going to bring this actually back up to 100 because I think it was pretty good where it was. And boom, I'm going to leave it at 100. Okay, so that's how you adjust the volume. So we went over split, we went over volume and detaching the audio if you needed to. Let's quickly go on if you wanted to add a music file so that there's music behind your video. Okay, so when adding music like an MP3, if you have it on your desktop, you can just take it from your desktop and drag it right under your video. I already have a music file in here, so what I could do is just drag it down and put it right under my video. And now this music file is there, and if I play it, it will start coming in. And the same thing, you see this line with the double arrows? That's how I adjust the volume in case I need it lower. I don't want it maybe too loud. That's how you would do that. Now if I wanted to delete it, again, I just make sure this one's clicked and highlighted, and I'm just deleting it. I'm not going to have music in this video, So I don't want to do that, but that's how you would do it. You would just drag it from your desktop under and then adjust the volume so that it fits at the right volume where you want it. Okay, so I think the best thing to do now is for me to play this video. It's unedited and then start editing some of the things. I did a few things already, but I want to show you what I'm going through in my mind and some of the things that I do to just clean up the video, edit it nicely, and put my call to actions in there and make it a little bit more friendly to the viewer so that I really don't bore them to death. So we're going to play from the beginning.
We're going to be going over how to create a private Facebook group in 2021. Now, over a year ago, I did this video, and
so again, because I don't want to bore people, what I like to do is crop it in and out so it makes it look like a little bit of a zoom effect. If you watch my videos, it just keeps people drawn to the video, and instead of staying in this layout the whole time, I want to move around. So what I'll do is right here I'll select, that's 8 seconds in, 10 seconds in, sometimes I'll wait 15 seconds, and what I'll do is I'll click here, I'll right click and I'll split, and we already showed how to do that. And now the beginning section I'm fine with. I'll leave that as the beginning, how this video is here, but on this section, moving forward, what I'm going to do is click this so that it's highlighted, and then I'm going to come up here to this crop tool, and then I'm going to click crop to fill, and you notice how there's a box now, and what I'll do is I'll just zoom in a little bit, maybe a little more, okay, and I'll leave it like that. Now I'm going to come back over here and let me show you what this does.
over a year ago, I did this video, and a lot of people...
Now you see how that little jump cut in, and you know, the more you do this, the better you'll get at this. Again, I'm not an expert with this, but it just makes the video more interesting. It gets your attention when it just cuts in a little bit. Sometimes if I'm going to say something, I will make it like zoom in even quicker. If it's something really important, I'll really zoom in. So just keep that in mind, and the way we're doing that is by just splitting the clip where we want it to start and end, and then coming up to this crop and just cropping it and drawing it in. And I like to use that throughout the video. You don't want to overdo it, but especially when you're going to say important things, when you end a section, it does keep the viewer more engaged, and I just think it looks better. So we're just going to do that throughout the video. If I sit here and do that the whole video with you watching, we'd be here for a long time. So I'm actually just going to pause and do that real quick, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a few more of those just so you really understand it, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so I went through and I just made a few more just so that they're there and I didn't waste too much of your time. So again, we're gonna just start it from right here. This is more towards the beginning.
A year ago, I did this video, and a lot of people have been...
You saw that first jump. We'll let this play out a little bit more.
Watching it, still commenting on it. I get a lot of questions, and because Facebook had updated so many things over the last year, I wanted to make a new updated video that actually is a new tutorial. Not many tutorials cover this new layout, how to find things, so I think this one's going to be really great for you. I know you have a lot of questions. This way I could also share this link for everyone else that's asking those questions and watching that other video, so I will share that link over there if you are one of my subscribers.
So you see how I made that other cut, and the video went from here to a little bit back further. Right here, a little bit back further. That's all done by just making a split and then just cropping it to a new size.
For you, I know you have a lot of questions. This way I could also share this link for everyone else that's asking those questions and watching that other video, so I will share that link over there if you are one of my subscribers. If you are one of my...
Okay, so right there you heard me stumble on my words. That happens, right? But I'm glad you get to see that so you understand, like, not every video is going to be perfect. So that's why you either have an editor or you edit it. So what I do here though, and keep in mind when I shoot, if I stumble on my words, I just repeat right again what I was going to say clear. And this way I know in my editing process, I'm going to just cut out the one that was bad and keep the one that's good. Very simple. So let me show you how that's done.
That link over there if you are one of my subscribers. If you are one of my subscribers.
So I said if you are one of my subscribers, and then I stumbled on my words, and then right here I said it again.
If you are one of my subscribers that's waiting for this video.
Okay, so then I corrected it right here. So where I corrected it, I'm going to go ahead of it and just play it again because I want to make sure that this is the right part.
If you are one of my...
So right there, if you are. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to split clip. Alright, so I know this is the good section. Now let me see where I started if you are.
Over there if you are.
Alright, I think it's right here.
If you are one of my if you are one of my subscribers, that is.
See how I mumbled right here? So I know right here if you
are one of my.
I gotta split this, and then I'm gonna highlight this section because this is the section that I stumbled the words and it's no good. And I know that I repeated it good after. So I'm gonna remove that, and then this is what we'll have.
I'll share that link over there. If you are one of my subscribers, that's
okay. That works.
That link over there. If you are one of my
let's see if I just another thing you could do. Let me just show you this too. This is good that I'm doing this live. Right here, you see how like when you go next to a split clip, if at any time I wanted to bring back the section, I could always just hold this down and pull it back. See how it does that? And it's bringing back everything. So it will actually bring back as much as I want to go. I could go all the way back to the beginning if I wanted to. It's actually bringing it back. So another thing too is if you split, you saw me split and then I split another section, you don't always have to just split two sections, highlight and delete. What you could do is if you just split one section, you could just drag and start deleting what you don't want. So you just see here.
Link over there. If you are one of my subscribers that's waiting for this video.
So link over there.
We'll share that link over there. If you are one of
my subscribers, so that's good. So I deleted that one where I stumbled on the words. So now what I'm going to do here though is I'm actually going to cut this and crop it, and I'll go a little bit in, and what I'll do is I'll go to left just to make it a little different.
Share that link over there. If you are one of my subscribers.
See how I just zoomed in a little bit of a different effect, and then it came in right on if you are one of my subscribers. So that's fine for me. Again, I keep it pretty simple. Another thing I just want to show you again so that this is clear. I like to repeat things, especially because I know sometimes beginners watch this. If I wanted to delete this section right here, let me just see what I say right here so you can watch this live.
And Facebook groups are.
And Facebook groups are. Let's say I didn't like how I sounded right there. So what I could do is I could just split the clip, right click, split clip, and I would highlight on here, and then I'm going to click at the end of the video, and I want to see that little gray bar like this, right? When you see that little gray bar, notice there's no yellow, it's just a gray bar. I can actually pull it, push down, and actually drag my finger across my mouse pad. So I'm holding it on the left side. Remember, I'm using the touch keypad on my Mac. I'm holding it on the left side, my one finger, and dragging my top finger and just deleting what I don't want. Now, this is not something that I want to delete. I just wanted to show you that. So let me just see what's going on, make sure I got everything back right.
Video. And Facebook groups are.
Yes, so I'm good. But I know I was showing you how to right click and split, right? We split that already. And then sometimes I'll just come here, and this is usually how I do it. If I knew this was the sentence I didn't like, I just right click, split here, and then I would just highlight this and click delete, and then this would move in place. But you also can, just so you know, you don't have to do it that way. I do prefer that way. If it's just the end of a sentence, or if maybe you took a breath right here, let's say, all you have to do is make sure this gray bar is here, and then let's say that little breath was there and you didn't like how you sounded or you made a noise, you just slide it back like that. Alright, so I just want you to know that you can do that as well. Okay, so you see how we can split clips. We went over some volume, detaching the audio, add music, very simply just dragging files in. And the same thing works when you have music, right? Let me just drag this down here, the music. Same thing, adjust volume. Also, you can right click, split the clip of the music. Let's say I didn't want the beginning of this track. I just highlight it, delete. I could also, if I just press left on this and drag my finger across, I can move this where I want it and line it up. Okay, so keep that in mind. I can line it up. Again, I'm not using music in here. Just going to delete it. And the more you're playing with this type of stuff, the more you're just going to understand it better, and the better, of course, you'll get at it. iMovie is just great to do simple things. I know a lot of people say you can't do so much, but as you're messing around with it, you actually kind of learn some tricks and hacks, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Like, people want to ask, how do you get your logo on there or your name? And I'm going to show you how to actually do that now on text. Adding some text and sound effects, that's what really brings your video alive, and that's what I want to get into now. Adding logo, adding images, adding text, and sound effects. So we went over cropping, zooming in and out on your video, which makes it interesting, splitting it and deleting sections, which is what you're going to need to do in case you mess up. Now let's make the video interesting. Okay, so I have this section here and it's perfect because I'm going to show you this example right now. Let me play this real quick so you can see what I'm doing here and what I'm saying.
Down below. If you're new to my channel, I'm James Cook. I talk about business, give business advice, show tutorials, all from experience, especially when it comes to investing in online digital assets. If you like that type of content, definitely click the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. I always try to add a lot of value.
Alright, so right here you'll notice if you are one of my subscribers or you watch my videos, I want to put a couple things here. So the first thing I want to do is when I say my name, let me get back to that part.
I talk about
I think it's right here.
Channel, I'm James Cook.
So I already have my media files saved from making my videos, and this will come into your iMovie library. The more stuff you're loading in here and saving, you'll actually have access to it. I use my name. This is a PNG. It's a transparent background that was designed in Photoshop. I had somebody just design this quick. So what I could do with this image is pull it over, right? And I'm going to line it up to where I say my name.
Cook.
Okay, so I say it right here.
I'm James Cook.
And what I'm going to do is it's highlighted. I'm going to hold down and just drag my finger and just drag it where I want it.
I'm James Cook.
Perfect. Now, it can't stay like this because it's blocking the video, right? So you just make sure it's highlighted, click on it, come up here where it says cutaway, and do picture in picture, just like that. Come back over here, and you'll notice it's automatically going to be on fade. You see this little blue dot right here? There's a little blue dot. When I come over here, you want to just drag this back so that it's not on fade. Drag it back to 0. All right, that's this little blue dot right up here. You want to make sure that this blue dot is on 0. And that just won't let it fade in. I don't want it to fade in. So then I'm going to grab this corner. Once it's highlighted, you come up right in this video box itself, grab the corner, make it a little bigger, and I'll put this right here. And what that's going to do is now when I play it,
My channel, I'm James Cook.
it pops in when I say my name. Probably could go to the right a little bit.
Channel, I'm James Cook.
Boom. Now what I'll do is I'll probably put a little sound effect. You could get sound effects. You could either buy them, you could download them as MP3s from YouTube or any other sound effect site. iMovie has some sound effects itself. If you just go into audio, right here. I look for much shorter ones. Let's see this. If you need a ski, again, I would look for something that makes sense. The ones that I have, I got from either audio sites or from actually downloading them from YouTube, converting them into MP3. So I'm going to go back to my media, and this one I use a lot. It's just a pop sound. Makes sense when something pops in. So I'm going to line that up just like you would with when you're putting music. You're just dragging it. Now you might not have it in here. Again, you want to just get your files onto your desktop, and then you just drag them in the same place from your desktop. So I dragged that sound effect and I lined it up underneath where my name comes in, and this is what that will do.
Channel, I'm James Cook.
So it pops in with it. Okay, it's very simple. Now with the graphics, a lot of people get confused and they don't understand that you need to have a transparent background, right? So it just can't be a JPEG with a white background because then it's not going to look right. And usually you'll know the transparent PNG files, they will have a black background when you first see it, but when I click on here, come up here, these boxes, if this goes away, right, and you're like, oh, where did the cutaway picture in picture go? It's these boxes right here. And then we're just going to go picture in picture. There it is. Remember, we're going to come over here, this blue dot, put it to 0, and then I'll make this bigger, and this to me is just much nicer. I could put it here, or I'll put it right here. Again, I want to make it a little bigger. I'm just going to come where I see those arrows spread out in that blue dot corner, hold it, pull it. Perfect. So now,
and hit that bell.
I got to just move it out a little bit back to where I say subscribe. How do I do that? Come here, highlight it, hold down my left mouse pad, and then drag my finger and just pull it back.
Click the subscribe.
Alright, so I gotta go back a little further. Alright.
The subscribe button.
So I'll use that pop again.
Click the subscribe button.
Pop. Okay, just a pop sound effect. Some people use different types of sound effects. I also think I have, let me see, that's the bell. I'll use this bell sound effect where I actually say bell. Let me just see where I say that.
And hit that bell icon.
That's perfect right there. I'm just going to lower it a little bit so people could hear me still.
And hit that bell icon
Perfect.
so you don't miss.
Just a slight little sound effect. Pretty interesting. And that's how you add sound effects. Get them onto your desktop. You can drag them in. Once they're highlighted, that's how you can move them around. You hold your mouse and you drag your finger if you're using the pad on your MacBook Pro. If you're using a mouse, it's a little different. But as long as you have that selected and you're messing around with it, you're going to learn how to move this very quickly. And you're just lining it up to your audio file of what you're saying.
Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. I always try to add a lot of value.
Now we're going to go over some text and actually some stuff about bringing in logos, transparent PNGs. I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do. So what we're actually going to do is jump on over to canva.com. So I want to find an interesting place though where I can actually add text, and I think I do have a place. Let me just find it real quick. Okay, so I found a section where I want to actually add text. Right here where I start sharing my screen, and I'm just going to use this as an example. So when you want to add text that pops up on your screen, let me just show you this clip real quick where I'm going to add it so you understand what I want to add, and then we're going to jump over to Canva to create that text.
Tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you have to do to create your private Facebook group, of course, is go over to Facebook.
Alright, so I could put here, first step, sign into your Facebook page. So if I wanted to make that as a first step, like as text that pops up on here, first step, sign into Facebook page. What I would do is I would come over to Canva. This is canva.com. You just sign up with your email, and you're going to actually just create a free account. You're not going to pay. There is a paid account, and I'm going to show you how to actually create your text into a transparent background, because Canva doesn't allow you to actually download for free the transparent background, and I'll show you what I mean by that, and you'll understand this better. Or even if you had like a logo, the background you can never actually get transparent on here. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a workaround the free way, or you can actually pay for Canva. It is a lot easier if you do pay for Canva and use it that way, but in case you're on a budget and you're trying to figure out how can I actually do this for free, I'm going to show you. So what I like to do is come over to templates, and you'll see you can make anything in here. Your YouTube channel art, you can actually make your YouTube thumbnails in here. So just keep that in mind as well. When you're making and editing your YouTube videos in iMovie, remember that you can also use Canva to make your catchy thumbnail, which is very important. If you haven't watched my other videos about creating YouTube thumbnails and creating and optimizing your channel, I suggest you go watch those videos as well. So what I'm just going to click on is just logo. And I'm just going to keep it easy like that. Right here I'm going to create blank logo. You could use one of their templates, but I'll just come over here. Here's some free templates. I'm going to just click text though right over here, and I'm going to look for a text that I like. Let's say I like this, right? Maybe I don't like the sale, so I'm just going to double click and get rid of that. But let's say I just like this text. What I'll do is I'll make this smaller because I know that it's definitely going to be smaller with all the words I'm about to use. And I'm going to put first step. And what I'm going to do is drag it out like this until it goes next to it like that. Then I'm just going to pull it up, try to center it just like that. Know it's center. And then what I'm going to do is actually put two dots, and then I'm going to actually grab the text again. Maybe I'll use this one. And this is what's cool. Actually, I'll use this one, Dazzle. And I always look for the ones that are free. First step. Delete that, and I like this one. First step, sign into Facebook. Now I'm just going to bring this down, and actually what I want to do is pull it like this so that the words go next to each other, and then make it smaller. The more you play with Canva too, the better you'll get. So first step, sign into Facebook. Now what I'm also going to do is just look at my video real quick. Yeah, black will work because it got a light background. I also want to make sure the color of my text, yellow and black, should look okay here. Just want to make sure that it's going to stand out. If this was a black background, I wouldn't be able to use this black text. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now what I mean by Canva won't actually let me download this with a blank background. Remember, we don't want this big white box, right? So if I go to download, see how it says PNG suggested, transparent background. If I click on transparent background, right now it's not allowing me because I'm not paying for this version that I'm in right now. Okay, and if you just signed up through your email and you're using it free, you won't be able to either. So the workaround for that is this is what you do. You will download it, just click download, just a regular file. Once it's downloaded, you can X out of this. Right here I see it's called first step. Now that that is downloaded, what you want to do next is go over to Google and just type in LunaPic. Right here, it's a free online photo editor. And then click upload right here to the left. You're going to choose your file. So I chose my first step one, I uploaded it. And now what you want to do is come over to edit and scroll all the way down on edit to transparent background. And then I'm just going to click what I want transparent. I want the white transparent. Okay. And then I'm going to click apply. And the other thing that I'm going to have to do now is in the R and the P and in the O's, the letters that are all closed, I'm also going to have to actually make those transparent. So I'm going to click in there. Okay, you see how the O is? And for every step, you have to click apply. You can't just go around clicking all of them. So I did that one O, now I got to click apply. Now I got to come back, do this O, and click apply. Then do this O, because I want the white out of there, click apply. Okay, sometimes you have to zoom in a little bit, like this. Make sure you're getting the R. How's it look? Okay, perfect. Apply. Come back to here. I want to click inside the P. Perfect. Apply. So this does a pretty good job. I mean, it's a little bit more work, but that's a free way of now making the background transparent. This is what it should look like. So now when I download it, I'm going to go to File, Save Image, Save as PNG. Here's a new one, Image Edit 228. What I'm actually going to do is drag that over onto my desktop. So now I have it here. And now what I'm going to do is actually open back up iMovie. I'm going to close out my windows. And now I want to take this one right where I say Facebook.
Facebook, sign in so that you're on your private Facebook group. Of course, is go over to Facebook.
Okay, so first step right here. I'm dragging this in. Notice how it's black background. Now, up here again, these two boxes. Again, we're going to picture in picture. And I'm going to make this big. And look at that. See how I just made the text be able to come in, first step, and I will just pick a spot where I know people will make it visible. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll start back here. You just put this cursor here. And then you see this arrow, I'll just make it bigger.
Your private Facebook group, of course, is go over to Facebook.
Alright, so I can just see what it looks like big. So maybe I got to drag it down a little bit. Maybe I want to put it up in here. Maybe I want to pick different colors. But you get the idea of that's how you make the text so that's transparent in the background. You don't want to have a box. Let me show you what happens if you don't have it transparent in the background. But let me just remove this and let me drag in the Canva download that didn't have. You see how it's white, black when you put it to this point? Now I'm going to go into picture in picture and we'll make this bigger. Look how horrible that is. It's blocked because it's not transparent. You can't see through it. So really bad. You don't want that. Key here is using transparent backgrounds on your texts, on your logos, on your images. Canva is a great solution. If you even wanted to write your name, and even in the first thing, you could even design this in Canva. My name. See, you would just write your name @ symbol, just like you saw me do. If you have the paid Canva, just make a transparent background. You could add Instagram logo. And if you're looking for Instagram logos, Facebook logos, I have this thumbs up. When I ask people to do thumbs up, it's a PNG file. I got this on Google. I look for transparent background. I noticed though that there are some files, unfortunately, on Google that say they're transparent background and they're not. Keep looking for the right files that actually are transparent, and then I usually, the ones that I like to use, I keep them saved in my library and I don't delete them. Like, I like to use this subscribe button, you notice that, and then, you know, maybe as time goes on, I'll get maybe a little fancier and get other things made for my videos, but for now, they're clean, they do the job, and my focus is really delivering the value in the video. Doing my cuts, my splits, my crops, ins and outs, my sound effects. I showed you how to add those. If I want to add some music sometimes, I'll add that. Very important, if you're doing YouTube, make sure that you're using copyright-free music. Otherwise, your videos will not get the exposure that they need. So that's why I will pay for music like that. And this way I just don't run into any issues of my videos not getting the exposure, because YouTube doesn't play around if you're using copyright music. These are really the basic things, especially if you're a beginner, that you really just need to know. How to cut things up, chop them up, how to delete the sections you don't want, how to remove any words or breaths or anything that you mess up, highlight them and delete them, and just start adding some little elements that make a little bit of difference and pop, some sound effects. And you can get those sound effects, again, by just downloading MP3s, different pop sounds, anything that you think makes sense in your video. We all talk about different things, so you might have other sound effects that actually maybe are more entertaining, maybe they fit more of your personality and the topics you talk about. You could find those sound effects, get them on MP3 onto your desktop, pull them in under the part of the video that you want them at, and bam, there you go. You can adjust their volume, very easy, and it's very simple. If you use iMovie just the way I'm showing you, you're going to get better and better at it, and you're going to find ways to actually adapt it to do little things that most people aren't using and doing in iMovie. There are things that you can do in Adobe Premiere, I'm sure, that are way better than this, but again, if you're just starting out, don't paralyze yourself to think that you have to be the best or have the best video editor to make your YouTube videos. You're actually just going to put yourself in a box and slow yourself down. My videos, I keep it simple. Where I focus is putting out quality content, taking the time, just like I'm making this tutorial. These type of tutorials is where the work comes in, where you got to make sure things are in line. You're trying not to forget anything. If I am forgetting anything, please, if you want to learn something about iMovie or there's something that you're trying to do, put the questions and comments down below. Delivering value, giving people solutions, giving people information on the topics that you know about, and if they love that type of stuff, they're not going to mind. As long as you sound clear and your video is somewhat clear, they're not going to mind that you don't have some crazy fancy editing skills. Believe me. And as you grow in the future, that's when you can start sending things out to your editors, get some more cool effects put in there. You could get better sound effects and you could get better animation, but I'm telling you, you don't have to overthink it. Don't overthink it, just do. Create really good quality content and make it better than what your competitors are doing out there on the subject, and just keep it clean, simple, get to the point, deliver value. I hope you really enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you learned something today. If you did, please hit that like button. It does help me with the YouTube algorithm, and also share this video with anyone you think it will help. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.